Well, I woke up to this this morning. I was like, I need to get my eyes shut a little bit more. You see the firemen on that floor up there? I don't know if they're working on somebody or not. No, there is. They put someone on the floor. Let's see. 5. There's a 6-floor machine up there. Can't zoom in. It wouldn't be San Francisco without the sirens. Let me turn this off Bluetooth. Sirens. Let me turn this off Bluetooth. Can you hear me better? Yeah, so we woke up to this morning. Firemen up there. There's an actual fire. Like, you can hear the sirens going off, right? Like 3 or 4 times this morning. The fire trucks would come and then they would go away. And like 10, 15 minutes later, it would be like, the alarm's going off again over there. And me and my man's like, there's got to be somebody over there that's just pulling the fire alarm. Here comes the fire trucks again, right? So then it stops, and then they leave, and then the alarms go off again. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is going to keep continuing? Because we get a lot of that around here, just false alarms and whatnot. And then we're like sitting on the bed, and I'm like uploading videos to TikTok because I need to get my posts in, because I've just been editing and getting my posts up on my products and gossip and just all that stuff, right? Just things that we do. And then it goes off again, and so we just kind of laugh. We're like, here we go again. And then my man's like, okay, I'm gonna go take a look. So he looks out the window and he's like, oh babe, it's an actual fire. And I was like, what? It is? And he's like, yeah, look, something's going on. They're like, it's either CPR on somebody. Oh, here comes the ladder. Oh, they're gonna pull these people down. So maybe they passed out on the porch, and then whatever they were cooking, around here, it could be an OD, which I don't want to slander anybody, but yeah. Yeah, it's an actual fire, and it looks like they're working on somebody on the porch there. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, a couple paramedics, so it is. So I'm guessing that someone has a medical condition, and then whatever they were cooking lit up. So thank goodness for alarms, right? So this is downtown San Francisco, California. There's always live action here, but I don't like to film like the homeless and the addicts and stuff that are out on the street, but stuff like this, where there's heroic things going on. Absolutely. Don't forget to send me a follow, and if you would give me a daily heart me, that would be great. Not only would that add you to my She's Live list, it also pushes my live and my content out to the FYP. Oh, here we go. I heard somebody scream. As soon as they lifted whoever it was up, they went, ah! Okay, so they have the ladder, probably for just in case. But yeah, they were like pounding. And I thought they were trying to like axe a hole in the floor. That's how much it was like. They were pounding on whatever person was there. And then I realized it was a person they were working on. I was like, firemen don't usually do that. And then when I saw the paramedics, I was like, yeah. Well, it sounds like the person's still, you know, on this realm. We'll probably get the story to this later on like San Francisco news, but and then when we do, I can give you information on what actually went down up there. I sniff all the time. If you hear me sniffing all the time, it's because I love my cats, but I'm allergic to them. See the ladder, the fire truck ladder. This is my first time ever seeing anything in action. Got a guy up there with his puppy. Oh no, looks like he's trying to film something. I thought he was holding his puppy. Oh, he's getting all of his stuff up there. You see him? Just in case it goes down, and his belongings. For renter's insurance, in which everybody should have renter's insurance or mortgage, you know, house insurance for like fires and floods and stuff. It don't cost that much, but it might pay out. Ow. God damn. Almost ripped my nipple off. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, everything here in San Francisco, they build up. So population rises, and so do the buildings, condos, apartments. But we're here temporarily, so that's okay. It's an experience in my lifetime. There was a little Ford coming down the street, cutest little Ford that you ever did see, and the Ford was on the wheels, and the wheels were on the ground, and the engine in the Ford made the wheels go around. Honk, honkity, honk, honk, beep, beep. See, there goes the alarm again. This is like the 5th time the alarms went off. There, they shut it off again. They probably thought that the alarm was just tricking. I mean, why they couldn't have caught that fire the first time it went off, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now, in this Ford, there was a seat, cutest little seat that you ever did see, and the seat was on the Ford, and the Ford was on the wheels, and the wheels were on the ground, and the engine in the Ford made the wheels go around. Honk, 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 beep, beep. Now, on this seat there was a girl, cutest little girl that you ever did see, and the girl was on the seat was on the Ford was on the wheels were on the ground, the engine in the Ford made the wheels go around. Honk, honkity, honk, honk, beep, beep. Now, on this girl there was a hat, cutest little hat that you ever did see, and the hat was on the girl was on the seat was on the Ford was on the wheels were on the ground, engine in the Ford made the wheels go around. Honk, honkity, honk, honk, beep, beep. Now, on this hat there was a fly, cutest little fly that you ever did see, and the fly was on the hat was on the girl was on the seat was on the Ford was on the wheels were on the ground, engine in the Ford made the wheels go around. Honk, honkity, honk, honk, beep, beep. And on that fly there was a flea, cutest little flea that you ever did see, and the flea was on the fly was on the hat was on the girl was on the seat was on the Ford was on the wheels were on the ground, engine in the Ford made the wheels go around. Honk, honkity, honk, honk, beep, beep. And then I like to keep singing that song, so I'll continue with, now on this flea there was a nothing, cute little nothing that you ever did see, and the nothing was on the flea was on the fly was on the hat was on the girl was on the seat was on the Ford was on the wheels were on the ground, engine in the Ford made the wheels go around. Honk, honkity, honk, honk, beep, beep. And guess what kind of a vehicle this little gal drives? A Ford. And she's flying over realms daily. F-O-R-D. The more you get to know me, the weirder I get. But that's okay, because I am the best. Now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 firemen down on the floor, on the ground, I mean. Oh, let's start that song again. Just kidding. My man went out there to check his Harley. He was like, I gotta go check my bike. Oh, damn. Here comes more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 firemen. You know, like Count Chocula. Well, with this live, I'll get my 30 minutes of live time in. L-I-V-E time. Yeah. So have any of y'all witnessed a fire in real life? I mean, I've had a few apartments that have caught fire, and you know what? It's never been our fault. It's been like some kind of a wiring to do with the apartments. Except for one time, I was very young. I was like probably 24. And I was melting candle wax in a saucepan with water in the saucepan, and then I put the candle in the candle case glass, you know. And then put it on simmer, and it would melt, and it would just make the house smell really, really pretty, right? And I had a distraction. I had to I had to go pick up my child from school. Something like that. I can't remember what it was. But I like hurried and ran real quick. I got distracted. And I left, and then I got a phone call. And it was my manager. And she's like, your apartment's on fire. And I was like, what? And I was like, shit. And then I went in, and we looked at it to see what happened after the fireman came in. And so it was the candle that I had in the saucepan in the water that was boiling, right? And it caught the cabinets on fire. So they caught it, so it was just the cabinets above the stove that caught fire. But they came in and like fixed it. It was weird, like within 3 days. And I just had to like stay in a hotel or something. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Until it was fixed. And I moved back in, and all the smell and everything was gone. It was just amazing. But then my lease was almost up, and so I moved out of there. And then it was like, let me see, it was like, I was in like 2000, I think. Yeah. And then after that, I moved into another apartment, and it was way nicer on a nicer side of town. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Was it? I can't remember. No, we moved into a house. I can't remember. It was either a house. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But anyways, it wasn't until like 2016 or 15. Yeah, 2015. I was living in another apartment, and I wasn't staying there at the time. My son was. I was like at work. I don't even know where the hell I was. But my son, you know, they were like 17 years old or whatever, so I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was working like an hour away, so I believe I just stayed at a friend's house. But I got a call from the fire department saying that my apartment was on fire, and I was like, wait, what? And the fire marshal says that it caught fire inside the wall. And it was weird because there was no outlet behind that wall, and usually it starts if there's like an outlet or something like that. And I was like, well, we've been having issues with the fan in the laundry room, and we've told management and maintenance about it. And it would like, and it would like smell weird, you know? And we kept telling them, and they didn't do anything about it. And then after the fire, they played like they were like, yeah, you didn't tell us any of that stuff, and da-da-da-da. And I was like, well, I have emails to prove it, so you're lying right there. And then I was talking to the fire marshal, and he says, yeah, it's a very, must have been some bad wiring or something. But anyways, it came through the wall right there. And where it came was the wall where like the toilet paper holder was in the bathroom. And the restroom was like across the hall. So the laundry room was right across the hall from my bedroom, and then next to my bedroom there was the bathroom, and then next to the bathroom was another bedroom, and then next to that bedroom there was the kitchen and the front room, right? So yeah, that was weird how it started fire in the bathroom wall, and it was probably like, if I was to count from the wall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 10 or 15 feet, maybe even 20 feet. Yeah. But I talked to the fire marshal. It's like we did 3 inspections here, and they all came out to be the same, that it was just a freak thing to happen. And I said, well, it's not my fault, and I have insurance on this place, and I lost a lot of my stuff, if not everything, because everything smells like smoke. Now I can't get that out. And he's like, if you were to sue him, you would be paying more for attorneys than you would getting money for any of the stuff that you got just because of the air insurance that they offer. And I was like, oh, that's great to know now, right? So I was talking to the management, and I was like, hey, you need to like hook me up with another apartment. You know, the entire building that had, I think, 14 apartments in it, the whole side, so it would have been 7 apartments. Everybody had to be evacuated out of there. They had to find new places to live. Yeah. So we were all replaced into a new apartment complex of our choice of their sister and cousin properties, right? And so, I mean, it ended up working there, but before I was able to get that to even happen for everybody and myself, I went in there. Well, I called and I was like, hey, and they kept avoiding my phone calls. And so I walked in and I said to the secretary, I said, you can't avoid my call now because I'm standing in front of your face. You know, and I says, what are we going to do about this? It wasn't our fault. You know, this is what the fire marshal said, da, da, da. And I says, we have renter's insurance on that property. And she goes, what, you're only paying like $9 a month? And I was like, it doesn't matter how much I'm paying, honey. I got a good deal. That's what you guys offer. I got it through your guys' apartment complex, renter's insurance. So whatever you guys got going on there, that's on you. And you told me that it was going to be a better deal. We'll be saving you so much money, and And I was like, all right, well then it looks like I'm just going to have to contact my attorney. And I did have an attorney because I have a friend that is an attorney. And then I used to do work with him, so I knew my shit. He taught me a lot of paralegal stuff, you know what I mean? So anyways, I knew what I was talking about. And then I also had Google there to help. And those girls weren't nothing but just like secretaries for the company, and all they did was file paperwork and fax and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Looks like they're having a little meeting down there. But yeah, we ended up getting in another apartment, which was on the other side of town, which is the better side of town. Well, I guess they're pretty equal, but one is more for farm country, not really rural, but more for that. And the other one was more like up closer to the mountain type thing, you know? Different class of people. And then after that lease got up, where did I go? Oh yeah, I moved into a really nice place. I was like, I ain't tripping on these places anymore down here. All right, looks like their meeting's over. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the person that was up there that the fire started, and they were like giving them CPR stuff on him or her, but it sounded like a guy when they lifted him up. But they got the thing up there all. Yeah, this is our morning. It's a lot of firemen. I'm like, thank you, because I don't want my stuff to burn. And it was weird because I was sitting there and I was like, what if an actual fire really did happen? Like, because they're always tricking the fire alarm. There's always false alarms where we just get sick of going downstairs, you know? I'm like, okay, everybody evacuate the building. And I was like, again? And then the manager will be like, yeah, it was a false alarm, or some lady was smoking near the fire detector in the building. She's not supposed to. And so we're like, yeah, my mom was like, yeah, we didn't even go down this time. And I'm like, well, don't tell him. And he's like, I don't blame you, but I was like, what if a fire did really happen here? Well, I guess now we know, but it was across the way. But I was only thinking that because that alarm kept turning off, on, and then the firemen would come, the fire trucks, and then they would shut the alarm off, and then they would get back in their trucks and then drive back to their station. 10 minutes later, the alarm would go off again, and you'd hear the sirens. Sometimes they come over here, whatever time they spend up there, like every time, and then they freaking turn the alarm off and they drove back away. And it was probably about 15 minutes later. Here comes the sirens again. And then my man's like, he's gonna go check out the window. And he's like, oh, there's a real fire out there. I was like, oh. I think that market across the street's open 24 hours. They're so expensive though. What you pay at a supermarket would be like $4. They charge like, God, what was it? 8 or 9 for that you can get at the supermarket for like $4. Like eggs in San Francisco for a freaking 18-pack, we would be paying $15.99 for. That's absolutely ridiculous. And then I was like in Utah, and you could get a freaking 18-pack of eggs there for like $4. I was like, damn. Well, oh, there goes all the water underneath the truck. You see it? Well, what if something happens and they need to use the water? Oh, never mind. They probably took the hose off the fire hydrant. The fire hydrant, and it just still had water in the hose, you think? Yeah, water to the hose that goes in the truck. But then why would you need the truck with water? Yeah, there's no water in it. It's not a damn camel. It's not a camel. Wait until the fire truck drives away. If I can stand bending out this window for much longer. Ow. It hurts my elbow. Yeah, go check out my page. Send me a follow. There's always something historic going on around here. And today we're going to go shopping for some pants so that I can have some pants for our trip that we're going on this weekend. Because we're taking the Harley and not the vehicle. So I need some better pants because all I have is leggings. And I'm not going to speak it into existence, but yeah. Alright. I will chat with you later. Send me a follow and I'll follow you back.